Welcome to Thunderbirds TV. I'm your host, Maki Jenner, and the 2025 NLL entry draft is finally out of our way, and we're welcoming 6 new draftees to the Thunderbirds organization, including this man right here with me, Alex Marinier, selected 6th overall, our first pick of this year's draft. Alex, thank you so much for joining me. How are things doing since after the draft?
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting time. I mean, it's a dream come true, and to be selected by an organization as as profound as Halifax is just such an awesome opportunity. And obviously being picked with some familiar faces along in the draft too is that extra added excitement. And I'm excited to get started. I got another year at school, but the Halifax Thunderbirds are going to be on my mind that entire time, and I'm looking forward to hitting training camp in 2026.
Well, I know that you were around some of your teammates, I'm assuming at Ohio State, and some of your friends to kind of celebrate you hearing your name called. But just kind of take me through draft day and the emotions that you were feeling and what that was like to have, such great supporters around you celebrating your success on that day.
Yeah, draft day was interesting. I mean, Saturdays in Columbus, obviously it's a football game day, so everybody was kind of fired up for that, anyways, and just the added excitement of having the draft too. It was awesome. So tried to distance myself from the football stuff, kind of just get settled in and prepare myself for the draft. And obviously had a great group of friends there with me, and we took the time. We just hung out at one of the houses, talked a little bit, kind of went over the draft, maybe where I could go, and kind of just see the options, and then obviously just watched it and was just super excited to see my name called, and they were fired up for me as well. And these are guys that I go to practice with every day, and guys I'm around with all the time. So to be able to celebrate the draft with them was awesome.
Some are calling Halifax the Ohio State of the East, as we seem to have a lot of Buckeyes go through our program. But what does that kind of say about Nick Myers and the coach he is and the program that he has to kind of build, develop, and prepare you guys to take that next step into your pro careers and find so much success right away?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a program in the country and a head coach in the country that does things, better than Coach Myers. I think he's brought the Ohio State program from, pretty much nothing in the past 20 years to a team that just won our first Big Ten championship, regular season title and tournament title. So, he's really been the backbone of the program, and to see how he's developed players. And I think of guys like Ryan Tarafanko and Jake Withers. Those are the two ones that come to mind first. But just these guys that are such hard workers, and that's something he instills in us on day one at school. He knows we may not always be the most talented team, but he knows we're definitely going to be the hardest working. And I think, everybody among the NLL and especially the Halifax organization kind of understand that. And I think coach has done an amazing job with the program. And, we're seeing the benefits of his hard work kind of start to pay off now.
And I know that you said, you're finishing up your college career at Ohio State, but kind of looking at your path. I mean, you won a Minto Cup back in 2023. You had a great summer with Coburg and Brooklyn at the President's Cup as well. What have those kind of experiences done to help shape you as a player and, again, kind of prepare yourself for these next steps?
Yeah, I mean, a ton of it goes back to my days in Burlington, and I think I give so much credit to the coaches that took a chance on me. I was a defender for the first few years, and that Minto Cup year was actually the first year I played offense. So to have coaches that trust in your abilities and trust you to go at the front door into a new position is obviously amazing. And then my coaches in Coburg and Brooklyn were great as well. Bringing me in, and that Brooklyn team obviously hosting the President's Cup was for the first time, I believe. It was such an amazing experience to be there and just around such a great group of guys. I think of general manager Gavin Prout, as a former first overall pick, and coaches like Mark DeBrone and Deggs, and just so many amazing players and just people to be around, along with other guys on the team that are pros. Nicholas Volkov, Deacon Knott. So just such great programs to be around, and I think that really kind of paves the way for future players like myself. And I think just so much of the success that maybe I've been able to have in my career goes to kind of the people that have come before me.
Now, I know we kind of talked about that Minto Cup team a little bit and the Burlington connections, as you mentioned, some familiar faces, and one being your former junior teammate and current Brooklyn Merchants teammate, Will McLeod. What's that like for you to kind of hear his name later on in the draft and, get to know you spent your junior days together, some senior lacrosse together, and now you can kind of embark on your pro journey together as well?
Yeah, I mean, Will's been there since day one. We used to play against each other back in the minor days when he played for Hamilton, and then we started playing in Burlington together. And ever since then, we kind of just we not only became great teammates, we became pretty good friends. So, I consider him one of my best friends now. And, he's a guy that I'm always in contact with when I'm at school. And, he's really the one that kind of brought me to the Brooklyn team. He was playing there and kind of asked me if I wanted to play there. So, Will's a really good friend of mine. And I think that kind of translates on the floor. I think we have great chemistry with each other. So to hear his name called with Halifax was a dream come true, to be honest. I mean, just kind of continuing off the chemistry we've built in previous years, and just kind of excited to wear the same uniform as him again.
Connections are all over the NLL, as we know, friendship or family ties as well. And your older brother plays in the league and has for a few years now. How has he kind of been a mentor to you and just kind of helped you as a player throughout your entire life?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been outstanding. He was a guy that didn't know if he wanted to go to the professional lacrosse route. He started playing when he was late, picked up the stick kind of again in junior, in his last year of junior, and had a great season. And just, he kind of realized that, hey, he could do this. And to see him kind of develop from somebody who didn't know if he wanted to play pro lacrosse to somebody who, lives and breathes it, has just been so inspirational for me. And to kind of just see how much of a competitor he is now. He's competing for a Mann Cup right now. And, to be honest with you, probably one of the best senior A teams ever assembled. So to see that is just, it's so inspirational for me. And just to know that, I have a guy like him by my side, and a guy that I can ask questions to or talk to about anything is just, it's been great. And I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. And I'm also very excited to play against them in a few weeks.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Halifax has become such an esteemed place to play, whether it's the atmosphere, just, the veteran leadership and knowledge that we have on our team. And again, I know you're going to have to wait a little bit, but once you arrive to this organization, is there one piece that you're kind of looking the most forward to, whether it is just kind of getting to Halifax and being inside the nest, or is there someone you're kind of looking forward to learning from or playing alongside with?
Yeah. I mean, going back to kind of the Buckeye connection, I mean, Ryan Terrafranco is definitely one of those guys. I mean, I've heard so much about him and how much, about his career as a pro and as his career as a Buckeye. And, I've never had the privilege to play with him or against him. So this will kind of be the first time. I've spoken with Coach Myers about him, and he's just, a phenomenal player, a phenomenal leader, a guy you really want to have in your locker room, and a guy I think I can learn a lot from. So to be around former Buckeyes, and of course, some of the name, like Cody Jamieson and, some of the names on this roster, is just to be around those guys is like a dream. So I think there's just so many great players and coaches as well that I'm going to be surrounded by. And, lastly, I would say the fans. I've heard amazing things. I know the fans are great in Halifax. So I'm super excited to kind of see the fans and kind of experience the atmosphere for myself.
Finally, for those fans who might not be too familiar with your style of play or the type of guy that Alex Marinier is, how would you kind of describe your game and what should they be looking forward to?
Yeah, I would consider myself, more of an off-ball, obviously offensive player. I kind of find more of my success from the outside, and I feel like I can use kind of my size and my athletic ability to set good picks and kind of create space for my teammates. But I think kind of the biggest part of my game is just my ability to kind of stretch defenses, and create more space for my teammates as well. So. And I'm somebody who I feel like I'm not, afraid to get back and play defense if I have to. Obviously, I've played a ton of defense in my career. So if there's opportunities in the transition game, I will be involved in that as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alex. We wish you the best of luck in your senior year at Ohio State. We're eager to get you out here to the Maritimes. Congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.